Hey guys, you made it back. Welcome to What's in the Shop. Hope you're having a great week. Got 10 records here I want to share with you. Let's get into it. I don't know anything about jazz, but I like the cover of this. Nancy Wilson Cannonball Adderly. And I like to put it on in the shop when I come in the morning. This is actually the first record they made together, Nancy Wilson and Cannonball. Cannonball's real name, by the way, is Julian. Penguin Guide to Jazz says that her version of the Sleeping Bee on this record, one of her best performances ever. Another interesting thing, Cannonball used to play with Miles Davis, and if you listen on this record to Save Your Love for Me, you'll hear the opening bars that Cannonball stole from So What. But that's okay because they're buddies and they recorded together. All Music Guide says why any serious jazz collector doesn't have this in their collection, beyond comprehension. If you grew up in the 70s, you knew this dude, awesome, and you knew these kind of albums, double live albums. This is Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo. Awesome record. I used to freak out when I was a teenager, look at the pictures inside, and wonder how he got that sustain on Great White Buffalo. Full on energy. This is like a firebomb going off on your stereo. Good, just awesome, solid rock. Has two songs that weren't on anything else on any other albums, Yank Me, Crank Me, and the title track Gonzo. Must have for anybody who likes rock and roll and classic albums. This next one, Split Ends, their breakout album, True Colors. This album was a breakout mainly because of the hit I Got You, which Neil Finn wrote. The two brothers, Tim and Neil Finn, actually were the key members who started Split Ends, and this is the one which Neil got his start in, and it also got the band on a worldwide stage. The main reason I wanted to show you this though is because of the record itself. Check that out. Laser etched. This is the first record ever to have that. And this was an invention made by A&M Records to prevent bootlegging. So that's a neat thing to have in your collection. And if you never knew that, now you do. Also, this record, what's interesting about it, other than it has the hit I Got You, Shark Attack, I Wouldn't Dream of It, I Hope I Never, side one is solid. But it was originally done in 4 different color combinations, 4 different covers. Up till today, there's been over 10 different covers done for this album. So if you're a Split Ends collector, that's a lot of records to buy. This is one of my favorite country singers ever, Connie Smith, member of the not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she was mentioned in Rolling Stone's Top 100 Country Artists, so that's not bad. Member of the Grand Ole Opry since 1965. Her debut was in 1964 with Once a Day. It is on here. Basically, I just love this cover. It's got 10 hits, 8 of which were top 10 hits, the other 2 just slightly behind the top 10. Solid record. This was actually the last compilation she did for like 20 some odd years, believe it or not. You like to rock? I do. Saxon, Denim and Leather, the battle cry for the uniform of most young teens growing up in Britain who were into metal in the 80s. Saxon were key players in the new wave of British heavy metal movement. Third album in 18 months. This one, solid rock, and this has their 2 biggest hits, Princess of the Night, which is a love song about a train, and The Band's Played On, which is about their performance at the Monsters of Rock Festival the year before. They mention Rainbow and the other bands they played with. I just like this cover. That's Claudia Brucken. This is a single by Act. What is it? I Can't Escape From Your Love. I Can't Escape From You. I just love this picture. She used to be in Propaganda, by the way. Next up, hey, Pop Skeletons, everybody has it. Debbie Gibson, her debut album has her debut single, Only in My Dreams and Shake Your Love. I believe half of this album, 5 of these songs became top 10 hits. Most were in the top 5. There you have it. Speaking of pop, one of the best pop singles in Britain's history, or one of the best British pop singles, they say. Fun Boy 3, this was the last single they did before the band broke up. It is Our Lips Are Sealed, and it was written by Terry Hall and Jane Wiedlin of the Go-Go's. The Go-Go's were opening for Fun Boy 3 on one of their early tours, and Jane and Terry had a fling. They had to try to keep it secret, thus Our Lips Are Sealed. The Go-Go's version came out first on their album Beauty and the Beat and became a hit in the United States. About a year and a half later, Fun Boy 3 recorded this, and it got to number 7 on the British charts, making it their biggest one and their most well-known single in Britain. Great song, classic, Our Lips Are Sealed. Next up, one of Jimmy Page's favorite bands. He loves this record, says he doesn't know why it wasn't bigger than it was. That's the debut from Detective. It's on Led Zeppelin's Swan Song label. This band basically is started by Michael DeBar, who was in Silverhead, a glam band. I think they also had some members of Blondie in there. And Tony Kaye, who went on to be in Yes. But anyway, they only did 2 albums. This is the first record. Good, hard, solid rock and 70s classic stuff. This next one, oh my gosh, it's a huge one. I'm talking about Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. This was the band's 3rd album and the one that got them on a major label. They were originally signed by Frank Zappa on his label. They did the single, I'm 18. It got into the top 40, got them a deal with Warner Brothers. Part of the reason why this album was so big was because the producer they worked with, Bob Ezrin, he went on to work with Kiss, Pink Floyd, Aerosmith, just to name a few. Ezrin was 19 when he was drafted in to work with these guys, and he didn't want to work with them because he was too afraid. I mean, look, this picture used to scare me when I was a kid. Anyway, Bob told them if they practiced and worked hard, and actually told them to practice 10 or 12 hours a day, they would make it big. And they did. This album broke into the top 40 and was the album that launched Alice's career. Actually, he started getting killed on stage, I think, on this tour. What's amazing were the reviews for this, because originally people had different things to say about it. And they called them like the forerunners of future rock. Some said it was absurd art rock, and one magazine said this is for the pimply and punky crowd, which it definitely was. Because if you remember, Johnny Rotten said he had to mime to I'm 18 in Vivienne Westwood's shop before he could become a member to the Sex Pistols. He also wrote 17 on the Sex Pistols' only album as a response to this. Joey Ramone, he said he stole the lines from I'm 18 to write I Don't Care in Sonic Youth. Kim Gordon sang Isn't My Body, and she claims that's the best song that she's recorded, her best vocal performance ever. Anyway, considered to be a heavy metal hard rock classic, Hit Parader puts it in their top 100 heavy metal albums of all time. Rolling Stone rates it at 454, I believe, in their 500 greatest albums of all time. A must-have, Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. Hey man, thanks for joining me again today. I hope you have a great weekend. Come in and see me at the shop. See you next time on What's in the Shop. Keep on rocking, guys. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the cover. Originally, Alice stuck his thumb through here, and it looked like a you-know-what. If you find the cover with the thumb poking through, get it. It's very collectible.